What's up?
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Welcome to my show.
Thank you. Thank
I
you
don't know what
for
the show's
inviting me.
called.
You don't know what the show is called.
We were just talking about me not naming the show, y'all. So this is my friend. I'm not gonna introduce them. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. But this is my friend. Her name starts with a D.
I'm Diana. I'm a web designer and brand designer in Denver, Colorado. And
Is it a brown designer? Brown?
Brown.
Yeah, like
I mean
that.
brand. Sorry.
Oh, brand designer.
Brand designer.
I was like, bro, because would you consider yourself brown since you're
Yeah,
Latina?
well, Mexican American, yes.
That's why I thought you said that. I was like, brown designer. I
Yeah.
see you.
No.
So
Yeah.
you're a brand designer
Yeah, brand identity designer.
in Denver, Colorado.
Yes.
What else do you do? Actually, pull this closer to you. Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Okay. I do brand identity and I do websites and I do anything that's like marketing assets. I do that. I work with marketing teams and I just get my own clients as well. Recently, actually, we had talked about like a couple months ago when I had left a company that I was working with last November. So I was working for myself from November all the way up until now.
That's facts.
But a couple months ago, well, like last month, I signed on to a company and I signed on because it was one of my contracts. I think I had mentioned
You told me
that
this
to
recently,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up signing on with them as the head of the creative team. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm helping them build out a creative team.
Fire.
And it's more like it's going to be more product design, so we're going to be doing UX UI design and just developing products for like roofing businesses and anything that's like service based, really.
Dope. So the company you work for, they serve like a lot of like local small businesses?
The company it's a marketing team that I'm on, and then they also have a consulting team. So they merged companies with a consulting team, and the consulting is for roofers. So it's just roofing companies all over the United States and Canada.
Oh, so it's just not Colorado. It's like the whole North America.
Yeah, and Canada.
Fire.
So, yeah.
That's real niche.
Yeah.
That's fire. I mean, I guess roofing businesses need people who specialize in marketing and advertising for their company.
Yeah, they really do. And I feel like a lot of the times they don't, like, there's so many moving parts to businesses that they don't really know like where to even start when it comes to like having an online presence or just like growing online, basically. So that's the consulting company is like more for like strategy on like business revenue and stuff like that, and then the marketing's already like helping you grow from there.
Yeah, because I mean, that makes mad sense to be honest with you. Like a roofing business, like what do you know about marketing nowadays? Like you're like a hands-on kind of person. You're not like, you don't know what people are searching or scrolling through.
Yeah, you really don't. And I feel like you're like the roofers, they're always out in the field and like working on roofs or like working with their teams, and they're never really trying to come up with like a marketing campaign of like how can we come up with a creative idea of how like we can market our business and like have a bigger reach. So that's where we come in.
Fire. It's also inspiring for any of y'all watching that you don't like think about other industries that like could use your services. You know, like a lot of people think marketing and stuff, they automatically just think like social media or all these brands and stuff like that, when there's all these other avenues and organizations who need people who specialize in things, but you don't really think of it.
Yeah, there really is. And I feel like all businesses really benefit from it. So
because didn't you do something recently for like a little ice cream shop?
yeah, so there was a ice cream shop that was opening in my hometown, and I did the brand identity, and I helped design. That was one of my clients.
So it's like your freelance work.
Yeah, that was my freelance work. So I helped design like what the brand identity would basically like transfer to in the actual shop, and just like the menu displays and what would go on the walls and like the content. I actually did film a little bit of the like social media videos, and I shot some of the pictures as well. And that's basically what I did. Everything.
So you give them like a package. So those people come to you and they say, "Hey, I want to create." Like, how does that happen? I always be curious about that. Like, how does a company come to someone like you and be like, "Yo, I got this restaurant or whatever I'm about to open, and I have this idea." But then, how does that translate from their idea into actually, like, you had good things like a menu design, what goes on the wall. I even seen you put on the Instagram, like even just like the decal on the windows and stuff like that. So like, explain your process like that when a company comes to you. How do you get into the nitty gritty of narrowing down to those things?
So when a client comes to me, they usually, like you're saying, they don't know a lot of the things they need. So what I usually tell them is like, I can manage the project for you. So it's basically a package of project management. And what I do is like, I make sure they have their brand identity, and I make sure they have all assets. Like I do a lot of restaurant design, so I know what goes into like everything that's in a restaurant, you know, like the menus and like little things on the walls and the window decals and like little details. So I let them know like based off of experience on other clients, and that's basically what I do. I just manage the project for them, and just basically doing the research. And that's what I tell them too, is like, you're paying for me researching for you and making sure I'm fitting all of your needs. Because when they come to me, I do go through a series of questions of like, what are your questions, and so I can help you. Because I also am like, I've worked with other clients, right? But not everybody's the same. Not all restaurants want the same thing. And I base it a lot off of what they want and their goals of how they want to come across.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, their goals, because I can imagine also too, there's people who don't know what they want, and then there's some people who got like mad ideas, and it's like, whoa, your budget doesn't match this.
Oh yeah.
It's like, yo, slow down, your budget don't match your ideas.
Yeah, that is really hard, because I feel like being in a creative space and like seeing all these new restaurants and like all these trendy things, like you have all these ideas and you want to execute so many things with this client, but a lot of the times it's like, well, we don't have the budget to for you to work that many hours for us.
Facts.
Yeah,
that makes sense. It's tough, right? Because there's a lot of companies too, like there's a lot of small businesses that have good, whether it be food or whatever, good things. But sometimes I feel like marketing, like what you do, it really sells a business. Yeah. Because I'm the kind of person, if I see a restaurant or something and like the marketing and like the branding is ass, like I'm more than likely not going to go in there. Only because it's just like, Dan, you didn't even care about like this aspect of your brand. Like you might like cut corners on some seasonings. You know what I mean? Like your chicken might not have that good seasoning because you was cutting corners. So it's important to me. So I value people like you and what you do and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you also build websites too, right?
Yeah, I do build websites.
I remember you telling me that when I first met you.
So that does also integrate into the package, like if they have the budget for it, like you're saying, because everybody needs an online presence. And yeah, I do build websites. Right now I'm transitioning a little bit more, like I'm telling you, into a more like product design kind of website, because I'm realizing that there is like an oversaturation of websites that are just being built to be like online. But I feel like when you base your design off of like a product design kind of process, then you do a lot more research beforehand, and you really like look into what are people actually needing from this business, you know? So I feel like a lot of the times when I'm building, back then when I was building websites, it was like, okay, well, what does my client want to be on the website? And now it's like, it doesn't matter what my client wants. What does my clients want? Like I really need to focus on what the consumer of the actual product wants and what the questions they actually have.
Well, that's dope. That's actually really good, because it's true. It's like sometimes there'll be websites and they're just like the main format. It'll be like, you know, home, bio, contact. And sometimes I don't even feel like I don't read no bios on no pages. Like, who's reading bios?
You would actually be surprised.
People read bios?
Yeah, people, one of the pages that I actually visited a lot is your about page.
Damn, that's good to know.
Yeah, you should definitely put work into that page.
I don't have an about page. My shit is like, you just go to sekular.net and the main thing is just like mad videos, no description of nothing.
Yeah.
They're probably like, what is this? It's a guy who's still navigating what he wants to do, y'all.
Yeah. See, no, that's also why you need analytics. So you can actually look at data. And that's a part of product design as well, because I feel like a lot of the times we build websites, but there's no data backing us up of like what's actually working.
Facts.
And I feel like there's a lot more user testing that actually needs to go into websites, because we just, like, if you just build a website and you don't know what's working, like you don't know if what you actually want or what the client wants actually is what they want.
Yeah, or if what I want resonates with them.
Yeah.
I could be putting all this money into something.
Yeah, and there's
and
a
it
lot
might
of
not be
biases.
benefit me.
Yeah.
Now, what you said is right. That's why I told you I'm building a library first and want to start dropping in January for that exact reason you said. So I can have X amount laid out and I could see all the data from that time and be like, all right, these kind of videos worked for me, or like this type of content worked for me. Maybe I should focus more on this because it seems like this is what's resonating with people.
Yeah.
So that's fire,
like, yeah. And just doing, even before that, it's like researching, well, what are people looking for? Because what you want to do is like, you want to be a learning center. So before you become a learning center, research like, what do people want to learn?
Damn, yo, look at me. This is fire, y'all. Thank you. I'm so glad you came up here.
Yeah.
Nah, because I want to be more strategic. Like, this is my thing I struggle with. And not to make this about me, it's more about you. But if I was just being vulnerable, like, I struggle with consistency and I struggle with, that's the main thing. Just, like, consistency and, like, having a plan.
Yeah.
So, like, lately, all these years, I've just been, like, throwing things at the wall, but nothing sticks because of what you're saying. It's like, I'm just doing whatever. I'm not actually intentional about what I'm trying to do and like trying to meet the people with where they need to be met. So that really helps me out a lot. Thank you. I hope you don't charge me for this.
No, you're good.
Free console, y'all.
No, but are you doing just whatever? Or are you doing what you've been wanting to do?
I've been doing what I've been wanting to do for the most part, which is kind of important in creativity. Yeah, but it's also a balance.
Yeah, because it's like, how can I be a vessel that helps other people? And that's when you become the learning center.
Damn, a learning center. That's gonna be the title of this episode.
Yeah.
The learning center.
The learning center. Yeah, do it. Do it.
But all right, that's dope. So so now you work for a company and you also freelance.
Yeah.
How do you balance the both? You turn down work sometimes?
Yeah, so for the last couple weeks I have been turning down work, mostly because I don't know if you remember when we were talking a couple months ago, you had told me, hey, your website, like, you do good work, but your website doesn't
That's a fact.
It doesn't look that great. And when you told me that, I was like, yeah, I know, and I've been knowing that, but I never cared. And then now it's like, okay, well, now that I'm working for somebody, it's like I have steady money coming in and I can take down my site and rebuild it. So that's what I was doing. And now it's live. So
I gotta check it out. Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember I went to check it out recently and it was down.
Yeah.
It looked some wild. It looked like you got hacked or something. I think I sent you that, right?
Did you?
Yeah, I think I sent you a screenshot. I was like, yo, it looked crazy. Like, you look like you got hacked.
Yeah.
But oh, it's fire. I'm glad you did that. That's important, y'all. Look at that. And I also like that you mentioned that you have a job with a steady income, so you're able to take a step back and not have to accept clients to be able to focus on your personal brand, which is very important. For me, at least, that's why I work. When we had this conversation earlier, that's why I go to my job, so I can pay my bills and then I can still do what I want on my terms.
Yeah. No, and it took me a really long time to be okay with it, because I kept thinking about it and I was like, no, I don't want to work for someone. And I felt like I was letting myself down. I was like, I'm going to let myself down if I take this job, because I'm already here. Like, it would be taking a step back. And then I remember I had a conversation with a friend that I have in Houston, and he owns a really big company, so he makes millions. And I let him know what situation I was in, and he was like, you know what, like, it doesn't matter like how, like, if you feel like you're letting yourself down right now, because you're really not. You're gonna help build a team too, and you're gonna learn all these other things that come with working with a company. And he was like, see it that way. And it took me a really long time to be like, okay, well, I'm learning things. and it also takes a lot of like effort to be like, okay, well, I'm going to be working for these people, and then on top of that learning a whole bunch, and then on top of that working for myself.
Yep.
So it's like you're working all day every day. And I mean, I love it, but some days I am like, oh, I don't want to work on certain projects that they give me, and that I'm like, but it is what it is. And
I'm sure it's tough too, because like for me, mine's a little different. So my 9 to 5 job is like completely opposite of my creative outlet or my creative expression. So like it doesn't, this is a good question for you. So your creative expression is kind of like what you do for work as well, right?
Yeah.
So like how do you like try to muster up the energy to be like, nah, I got to work on this stuff for me, although you've already been doing all this work and you're probably tired from it.
Yeah.
But you got to still, put the battery in the back and get the work done.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
How do I do that? It just takes a lot of like, I know this is going to sound really horrible probably, but it's like, it doesn't matter how you feel. Like you just have to consistently just be like, I don't care how I feel right now. I'm going to put in the work and I'm going to do what I have to do. And you do get to, like, I get to a point where I'm like, okay, well, why am I even doing this? But that's when I'm like, okay, well, if I feel like that, I need to like basically like ground myself again and be like, well, why did I choose to be in this industry? And then look for that reason again. And the way that I find to do that is surrounding myself with other creative people. And when I meet other creative people and I see their studios and I see what they're doing and I'm like, oh, I love this. Like, this is why I'm here. This is basically the entire reason why I became a creative person. And I just wouldn't have it any other way.
No, thanks for sharing that. That's dope.
Yeah.
So y'all can take away from that. It's important.
Yeah.
You still got to just push through.
Yeah.
I be seeing some quotes like that on social media. It's like, it's not about how you feel that day. Something, I don't know. But anyways, it's tough though. And I can imagine, like, I know a lot of creatives who like, they want to do what they do, but they have to kind of like do for other people. Like people who paint or like artists, sometimes you get commissioned work and you got to like do things for other people while still maintaining that. And I like to ask that question because I never had that. I've always like, I was raised to like, go get a job, and like that just always stood with me while still trying to be creative.
Yeah.
I'm just thankful I still wrote it out because not a lot of people do.
No, yeah. One of the things that is really hard and that I constantly like struggle with is like finding my own identity within, because I'm constantly creating identities for everybody else and kind of like putting them in like these little compartments, and I feel like I want to put myself in a compartment and I'm like, well, where do I fit, and it's like, you just are like, you don't have to be a certain way, you don't have to come across a certain way, you just have to be. And that's one thing that I've learned through this entire process of like brand identity and like creating identities for everybody else. And I'm like, okay, I love that for me. It took me a long time to get there.
It's funny you mentioned the process of being one. I first met you in June, by the way. It's like 6 months now.
Yeah, it has been.
But I wasn't creating at that time. And then I was telling you exactly, kind of almost the same thing, not that, but I was telling like, I'm in a place of just navigating, trying to figure out what do I do. And you were saying, if you're a creative, you just gotta be.
Yeah.
And that resonated with me. I kid you not. Like that stood with me all summer. And I had a bad summer though. So like, and I couldn't create at that time because like I just had mad health things with the family going on, back and forth to New York. But I was like, nah, you just gotta be.
Yeah.
And then that's when I started, when you see me like put the video up of like making the beat and stuff, I was starting to be. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It was motivational.
That actually came to me when I was in Colombia, because I was like, I had just done a bunch of brand identity projects for my freelance work. And then I kind of got to a point where I was like, well, who am I? Like, and I also was thinking like, I need to redo my website. I need to redo all these things. Like, should I rebrand? And then I was like, and then I took a trip to Colombia and I was there for like 3 weeks. And that's when I realized, I was like, I love the essence of my being. And I was like, and that's all I have to do is like, I just have to be. And then we met, and then that's when I told you that.
Oh, fine. Thank you. I have a question for you because if you just look at your gram, you used to travel a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have traveled this year, maybe just being low key. I don't know. And you also have done international freelance work.
Yeah.
Break that. How did you get those jobs? Like, how do you get the international freelance jobs?
So I'm trying to remember one project.
Wasn't one in Spain?
Okay, so I did go to Spain, but I got an internship through a program, so
Okay.
that was straight out of college. And I was there for 2 months. I was working for a UX UI company, actually. The way that I actually got that was I didn't want to do websites. Straight out of college, I wanted to do, I don't even remember what I wanted to do. I don't think I even knew, but I just knew I didn't want to be a website designer because I didn't know anything about websites. And then when I got the interview to go to Barcelona, then I was like, well, I can take this job or maybe I won't get another one. So I was like, I'm just gonna do it. And I interviewed for them, and I loved the creative director. She was super cool. So then I went to Spain, and I was there. I worked with them. It was an agency. It was a UX UI agency, and we were working on projects that were like it was a travel agency that was one of the clients, and then it was a biking one, and there was a bunch of, I think there was like luxury brands as well. I know there was one that resold luxury watches, and then another one that was like Louis Vuitton and Hermes. So we did that.
And a lot of the stuff I remember you telling me you learned on the fly there. Like some of the stuff you didn't know, but you weren't scared and you asked.
Yeah.
You asked for help and you learned as you went.
Yeah. So before I took on that job, then I had taken one class that was like websites, but it was just learning the basics of HTML and CSS, which is like you don't learn platforms because now you don't have to know like HTML and CSS that much. Like you can learn it just to understand the language and to understand how they work, and if you need to do any front end coding, then you can do it. But
Not nerdy.
but that's what I had learned, and I didn't know any of the platforms. I didn't know how to set up domains. I didn't know how to set up like the hosting. I didn't know how to set up security or certificates or anything. And when I went, I like stuck to the creative director, and I was by her side the entire time learning as much as I could because it was also in Spanish. Everything was in Spanish.
Oh, damn, I forgot about that aspect of it.
Yeah, and everybody was like speaking so fast, and it's because you're not used to that the accent even, you know.
Because their Spanish is different. The dialect in Spain is different.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun though. Honestly, they were so nice to me. I learned so much from the creative director. So that's how I got those.
Nice,
projects.
That's dope. Yeah, I'd like to just dig in a little deeper because a lot of things could be inspiring. Like some people, they just don't think there's opportunities, and they might like check themselves off, not knowing that if you just have some hope, believe in yourself, and just go for it, some things might come out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think everything happens for a reason, and little bits and pieces like help you evolve into the person that you are today. So.
All right, you used to model, right?
Yeah.
How'd you transition into that and transition out of that?
So the reason I even got into modeling was because my best friend at the time, she had designer friends, and she was like, let's help one of my designer friends. Like she needs some models to do a runway show. And then I was like, okay, yeah. So then I did that. And then after that, I just started doing castings, and then I started doing runway, and then it lasted, I think it was just like 2 years. And then after that, I was like, you know what, this isn't like, I thought it was really fun, but it wasn't something that I was like, I want to put time into this, you know. It's a lot of fun. And when I get invited to shoots, I still do them. But because I do think that they help, like the shoots, not runway shows anymore, but the shoots really do help you like be a little more creative too, and think outside of the box of like, you know, like you get inspiration from everything, and I feel like a lot of the times when you're in digital, like in digital like art, you're always wanting to stick to that, and then you forget like there's other medias, like you can be inspired from anything. And I think that well, yeah, that's how I got into modeling. And yeah, and I didn't do runway anymore. I don't cast anymore because it's a lot of time. It's time consuming. It's a really expensive hobby too, because you have to be buying things. And
facts. There's a scene for it in Denver though.
Yeah.
There's like a Denver Fashion Week. There's all sorts of things in Denver that tons of photographers, models, all sorts of things out here. So yeah, I just thought I'd dive into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because there is a scene out here for it.
Yeah, it definitely is growing, and it's pretty cool. It's cool because, like, one of the things that also like called my attention about that was like just creating pieces. And I was like, I want to see behind the scenes. Like, I want to see what designers are doing. I want to see how they learn. How are they inspired? Where are they getting their ideas from? And like, how are they curating shows? Because that to me has always been super cool, is like the curation of anything.
Facts.
And that's also why I was like, I wanted to like see behind the scenes, like how's the show even created. And it's messy, let me tell you.
But you also, so to tie into that, it is messy, but for Halloween, Not Another Film Lab and Coco Event Group, along with Fresh Tape Media Studios, if I'm correct out here, they hosted like an open studio where people could come in, like photographers and stuff. And like they handled Keith, shout out to Keith, he did all the lighting and stuff. And the number one takeaway I felt like everyone walked away with was like they learned a lot about lighting. And I just felt like tying that into what you're saying is like, you go onto a set, you learn a lot of things. Like sometimes you might see in a magazine or a movie or something, you see how like the end product, but you don't see how much goes into it. And you could walk away and learn like, oh, look, that's how they did that lighting. Cool, I can incorporate that in what I'm doing here or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you could learn so much, and you network. I'm pretty sure you make connections going outside. Yeah. Do you still have any connections from
modeling,
your photography days?
Yeah, I feel like I did meet a lot of photographer friends, and then some model friends as well. Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Dope. Yeah. That's good though. You never know, one of them might hit you like, yo, I need a website.
I know.
The Squarespace ain't working no more. I need control of my analytics.
I need control of my analytics.
No, that's dope though. So what have you been doing outside of the creative realm? What do you do? By the way, look at the Keith Haring socks, y'all. We didn't get to tie into that. Keith Haring socks is fire. Love Keith Haring.
Yeah, me too. I love him because he was a part of like the whole like street art movement. So
yeah, big in New York. The hospital down the street from where my grandma lives, they have he did. What do they call those things? Remember the things you could put like along the top of the walls? It's not like wallpaper. They would just put it along the top in certain apartments. There's some old shit. I am older than you. But they had Keith Haring do the whole shit.
Oh, really?
Along the whole top of the hospital back in the day. They still have it to this day, but he did it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But so outside of design, because your main focus is like media design, media art, right? I guess that's the way to put it.
Yeah, digital, yeah.
Digital art. What do you do outside of that?
Outside of that, honestly, I don't do a lot.
You work out?
I do. I work out. Right now, I do have a trainer.
And you got a trainer?
Yeah.
Oh, you getting money
right now.
That job changed things up. She getting money.
No, it's so funny though, because I might, the other day, like 2 days ago, I was at the gym and somebody approached me and they were like, hey, do you compete? And I was like, no. And she told me she would train me for free to compete in May. Yeah.
You down? You gonna do it?
I think I might.
You gonna be mad brolic?
Yeah.
No. You already got brolic ass legs.
I might do it. I'm excited.
Nah, she put a picture up on her story, y'all.
Did I actually?
Yeah, and you had brolic ass legs. That made me feel mad. Like, damn, I gotta hit the gym. And I used to ride a lot of bike, so I had like, these used to be on point, but part of what happened this summer was like I had a lot of injuries this summer and I couldn't ride bike, so my legs was frail this year.
Yeah, well, hit up my trainer.
Nah, I ain't trying to spend money on a trainer. Maybe soon we can get sekular moving, maybe.
Yeah.
But all right, so you work out and you think about training.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of time. You're close with your family, right?
Yeah, I am. I love them.
And you're from Greeley originally?
Yeah, I'm from Greeley.
And you went to school where? MSU?
UNC.
My bad. I don't mean to offend you. MSU is different than UNC, right? I think so, right?
Yeah,
I think in the level of class out here, people would look down. Like, I think it's like, you tell me you from out here, but from my perspective of out here, it's you go to either like CU Boulder or CU. DU's a little in there because DU is like the private bougie college, but then UNC is like right after that. I feel like MSU is like the last
CSU
thing.
and then UNC.
Yeah, I feel like MSU is like, oh, you went to the little state college, little state university. But anyways, I'm not knocking y'all. I probably would have, if I was out here and if I ever went to school, I would have went to MSU because it's right here. It's like down the street, right with CU Denver. That whole campus is fire right there.
Is it?
You know
I don't
what's
know.
there?
I'm not outside too much. I'm
Oh.
not gonna lie. I use GPS for everything.
Oh no, there's a campus right here. It's called the Aurora campus. It's got CU Denver, MSU, which is Metropolitan State University, and then the community college. So it's just cool. I like how they have 3 colleges right there. So if you in college and you living in the city of Denver, I'm pretty sure it's mad lit for you.
Yeah.
If you're outside. She wasn't outside.
I was not outside. The thing I did really like about college was the studios, actually. I loved having access to the studio
Like
all
what kind of
the time.
studios?
It was the ceramics studio. It was a
Okay.
printmaking studio, drawing.
Like art stuff.
Yeah.
Fire. Did they have anything like this there? For like people who want to go into broadcast?
I don't know. I feel like that would be more into the film school
Okay.
because I don't think that was in design.
I think it's like the major for that is like communications.
Okay.
Yeah.
They might have.
That's what if I was gonna go to college, that's what I was
Okay.
gonna go to school for. And then it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do like learn broadcast. It's so
Okay.
funny that it came back around later in my life.
Yeah, I feel like it always does. That's funny you say that though, because that's one of the things that I loved about college. And right now, until like a couple days ago, I met someone that has a studio here, and it reminds me so much of when I was in college, and it just reminds me of like why I do what I do.
It's an art studio?
Yeah.
Like they do ceramics and paint and stuff in there?
There's no ceramics, but there's a mural artist in there, and then there's painters.
That's
and,
fire.
And my friend, he has a photography studio. So
That's in Denver?
yeah.
Fire. So much going on in Denver, y'all.
Yeah, there is so much. There's a lot of creative people.
You got to be in it for the long run.
Yeah.
I've learned. I hit 6 years this year, and I learned that I thought I was gonna leave. I thought I wanted to leave, but now I see my opportunity, and it's like, nah, I'm gonna stay.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people come and then they leave,
Yeah.
and they're like they missed that window of opportunity, and I feel like the city's still growing. So it's like, nah, I'm gonna stay.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the times, yeah, people do come in with a really negative like mindset, and they're like, oh, well, nobody's here, nothing's here, and
So
it's-
create it.
Yeah.
So create it.
Create it. And just like, I think there's so many people willing to collaborate. You just have to meet them, and you have to be
meet them.
open.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people who aren't willing to collaborate though.
Yeah.
That's why when I met you, I was hyped for you. Because sometimes as a man, like I had a, I don't know if you've seen, when I was doing the Let's Meet show, my homegirl Kimberly, she was up here, and she was talking about how like as a female, it's hard in the industry to collaborate with men because like, you know, some men have weird intentions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me as a man, it's hard sometimes to collaborate with women because like they probably don't know. And like thankfully like you and her, like I'm married, like I'm trying to build a brand out here, y'all. I'm not trying to ruin my brand over a shorty. I'm sorry. But I'm glad there's women like you, and I met other women who are like down to like you said, there's people out here who are open and willing to collaborate.
Yeah.
You just got to be patient and look for them and stay consistent.
No, yeah. That is a big struggle, like being a woman.
Yeah.
And like you
We had this conversation when we went for coffee. Mm-hmm.
When we had coffee, yeah,
Yeah.
there's too many. Like you think they want to collaborate, and then at the end of the day, it's like, well, actually,
Mhm.
and then you're like, oh, damn it, I thought
Yeah.
this was a friendship.
Yeah, that's sorry, good looking woman. It's sorry, it's hard for y'all. Don't be so good looking. Just be a little more whack, or just dress whack and look good. I don't know.
Oh God.
But how does that work for you then? Let's talk about that. That's a good. I love having that conversation with women because it's hard. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I mean, even
it
myself
is.
as a creator, sometimes I want to collaborate with girls, but if a girl look good, sometimes like, damn, how do I control myself as a professional individual and still, you know, be focused? It's important, I think. So how do you
Yeah.
navigate that?
I think that I still struggle with knowing how to navigate it because a lot of the times it's like you meet someone and they're like, hey, let's go have coffee and talk about like design or whatever we do, you know? And like I'll be like, oh yeah, like I love that. I love talking about that. And it's so funny because the other day that happened to me and I told my sister and she's like, that's how it starts. And I just thought it was funny. But
I get it.
but
I'm guilty of it, y'all. I'm sorry. I ain't going front.
yeah, but it's hard because it's like, well, is it like, am I thinking that, or is this what's really going on, you know? And so you don't want to like hurry up and be like, hey, well, I don't know what you're thinking, but like I just see you as a friend, or like I just want to collaborate, right? So it's like you don't really know when, like I don't know when to say that, you know, because it's like you don't know
No, I
until
get
they
it.
say something.
I don't think there's no wrong with you saying it though. Even if it's like
Yeah.
straight off rip, just I guess going forward, because like it should be, a woman should be able to set the tone. Like, hey, bro, maybe if I'm picking this up wrong, I'm sorry, but like, I just want this to be strictly like professional. You know what I mean? And like, I don't even know wrong with saying that. And then that, at least for you, that helps you filter out right away. Like, is you really trying to work or not? But I guess you just got to feel the vibe though, because there's some genuine men out there. You know what I mean? Like, that genuinely want to collaborate, and then there's some men who don't genuinely want to collaborate. You know? So you just gotta go by your gut feeling.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Then I'm gonna moving forward, I will do that.
Yeah, because it's tough, and as much as it might be hard, sometimes us men, we need that. We need to be checked. And like, all right, damn, I don't want to look crazy now. Let me work on this. So yeah, and I don't know, like right now the team I'm on, they're really great, but I do feel like a lot of the times, like the company I was previously working for as well, I did feel like they expected like the women on the team to always be very like light energy, and it's like sometimes you need to be assertive, you know, sometimes you need to be like clear, and I just found that really annoying because they really just wanted you to be like laughing at their jokes, and it's like, you're not funny though. Nah, and it depends on the culture you're working with too. Sometimes they get out of hand on like their little comments or jokes. It's like, get the sweat out my palms. But that's dope. All right, so we touched on some good things. I do want to touch in, so people understand you. All right, so you design, digital design. What was the right word you said? Digital art. Digital art. You design websites. You do branding and packaging. I have a question. Your sister does marketing, right?
Yes.
Do you guys ever collaborate?
Yeah, we do.
How do y'all collaborate with companies? Like, she might bring you on a project. You might bring her on a project.
Yeah, I think it's more right now. She has her own agency. It's a marketing agency, Haka Marketing.
There you go, a little plug.
But usually she'll have her clients, and then she'll be like, "Hey, I want to bring you on for this." And then I don't like maintenance. So when I have a client, I just send them to her, and I'm like, I don't want to be in between.
Or like updating the site and all that. Is that what you mean by maintenance?
No, what I mean is like if she has like if they need marketing, I don't want to be the person that they're going through.
Oh.
So it's like, I'll just send them.
Let me connect you with my sister.
Yeah.
You talk to her. You don't want to be the middleman.
Yeah, I don't want to be the middleman.
Or the middle woman.
I just connect them whatever they need. You know, even content creation. Like if they need video or whatever they need, then I'll send them to somebody I know.
Does your sister do that? She does like I guess if you're a marketer, I guess nowadays you have to do content creation, right?
She mostly does ads.
Okay.
So she does advertising, and she creates content for ads.
That is a little different though.
Yeah.
Creating ads versus creating just TikTok reels or Instagram reels is a little different.
Yeah.
The ads is a little more intentional. You're trying to convert, got like call to actions, things like that. So that's fire.
Yeah, and there's a lot of testing that goes into that as well. So
yeah. So I know the next year's gonna be crazy for me. But I already know how to do ads and like A/B testing and all that.
Yeah.
I just never had enough content to like, all right, let me try this whole practice out. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm excited for next year. What are you looking forward to for next year?
I'm looking forward to I don't know. What am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to the projects that I'm wrapping up right now, because I feel like there are a lot of really big sites. Like one of them, the client actually paid $50K for the site.
Yeah, are you allowed to say that?
Yeah, I think so. Sure. I'm pretty sure I am, just as long as I don't say who it was.
Yeah, just don't say the name, right? That's smart.
But yeah, they did that. So I'm excited for the process that is going through right now. Because like I said, it's a lot of research, a lot of testing. So that's what I'm excited for. And I'm excited to bring on other clients with really big budgets, because I feel like when we have a bigger budget, I feel like you care a lot more, obviously. Not that you don't care for the other ones, but I feel like there's just a lot more time and you're more invested, and there's a lot more resources that go into it, a lot more people, and I'm excited for that. And I'm excited to like grow a team and work with other designers, and I'm excited to just teach other designers as well, because I feel like that'll be next year as well.
Dope. So is there like any interns or anything at your current job?
No, right now, nothing.
Oh, damn. I have so many questions for you, but I don't want to eat up all your time. But I just think that's fire. So initially, when you went into college, you knew you was trying to do digital art?
No, when I was going into college, I kind of was lied to because when I went in wanting to be an illustrator.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm gonna illustrate. I remember my art teacher in high school. I freaking loved this man. He was so nice. He believed in me, and he's the reason why I did art. But he would tell me, he's like, look at all these careers. He had a wall where like all the art careers were displayed, and he was like, I want you to research every single one of these and let me know what you want to pursue. And I kept looking at them, and I was like, I don't want to do graphic design. I don't want to do anything on the computer. And when I researched illustration, I was like, well, I feel like that's what mostly aligns with me because I love storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I love storytelling through visuals. So that's what I wanted to do. And I went in and I went to UNC and I met with an advisor and I had let them know what I wanted to do. And then they were like, oh, yeah, we have that, but it's called visual communications. And I was like, okay, I believe them. I was like 18. And then
they were just trying to get you locked in with that tuition.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking about that. No.
It's a hustle, but go ahead.
Yeah. No, so yeah, I ended up going to UNC and like when I was 2 years in, they switched me to graphic design, but I had already been taking a bunch of digital classes and I was already learning the Adobe suite and a bunch of other things and I started liking it and I was like, you know what? I like this because I can help people through this and it's kind of also telling a story. It's telling a story of your clients. And I really did like brand identity. And I remember one of my favorite projects in college was a mock-up of a food truck.
Oh, fine.
And I did the entire branding of the packaging and the logo, stickers. I remember I like made the whole thing and then I made a stop motion video of unwrapping all of the actual packaging. And
perks of college, y'all.
Yeah, you have a bunch of time and resources. Yeah, so I really loved that. But anyways, that's how I got into graphic design basically. And then when I got out, then I did the
intern.
Yeah,
and then everything started going from there.
Yeah, and then after that, when I got back, I was actually doing editorial work. So I was designing the newspaper for like 6 months, I think it was.
Then Greeley?
Yeah, in Greeley. I did the Greeley newspaper, the Greeley Tribune.
Fire. So you've always been creative.
Yeah.
I know. I want to, before I let you go, I might have a question or two for you still, but I want to remind you, last time when I saw you, you said you wanted to do some art. Yeah. Where it was like you were taking like drywall or something, like building upon, like it would be like 3D art almost. Yeah. And you want to like make it textured and paint.
You know, I did start that.
That's where I was getting at. All right, here we go. You started. That's all I care about.
Yeah, I did start it, but the thing is, I ran into an issue where I was creating these paintings that were kind of 3D, and they weren't sticking to the canvas. And then I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna figure this out, and I never figured it out.
Damn.
So that's on pause. So I never finished.
Because you wanted to be a muralist, right, or something like that?
Yeah. So I did want to be a mural artist. Oh yeah, because in high school I had done like 2 murals, and
that's when you tied in. When I first met you, was telling me that's how you tied it in with your teacher. You were talking about all that.
Yeah, that's actually true. I did forget that part. Yeah, I did want to be a mural artist, and I had learned even the process of I guess like some murals now are painted on like this fabric, and you would paint the mural on the fabric, and then you use this like gel to stick it on the wall. Yeah, and that's how like
that's fire.
When I was in high school, those were like the new murals, you know, and I had learned that, and I was like, I'm gonna start doing this, and like right after like when I was gonna graduate, I had a bakery. And the bakery was like, we want a mural. And then after that, I don't remember what happened, but it fell through. I never did that. And then I forgot that I wanted to be a mural artist.
Damn.
With all college and being busy, you know.
That's actually the reason why I brought that up, because like Denver is a huge city with murals. They like do murals all around Denver. So it's like, how does that now to see?
You know, the other day,
as a young, inspiring mural artist.
Yeah, it is really inspiring. It is really inspiring. And the other day I met a mural artist at the studios, and I was so happy for him, and I was so happy to be in that space, because I was like, this really reminds me of where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. And I was just, it was so cool to see somebody else doing it. Yeah. And I'm like, either way, like, what's for you, you're gonna come back around to it. Like you said, like, you didn't go for communications, but you're here.
But now I'm doing communication.
Yeah.
I just thought about that now. I was like, damn, when me and my mom would go toward colleges, that was my major. It was communications. I was trying to major in communications.
Yeah, and what's so funny is when I was in high school, there was this guy that was older than me, and he had done a mural as well in the school. I did a mural right next to him the year after, and I remember my art teacher, he was like, he would always kind of like tell me we were in the same kind of path, and he became an artist. He's like full-time artist, muralist, and he has galleries all the time. And I remember I looked him up later, and I saw him, and I was like, wow, that's so cool. And like, I was so happy for him. And it did make me a little sad, because I was like, damn, like, I was in the same steps as him, and I didn't get that far, like, create with like painting or murals or whatever. But then I was like, you know what? It's okay, because I developed all these other skills, and now, like, if I want to ever go back to that, I can.
I think it's kind of the same thing. Like, if I were you, like me, if I was you and I saw like this ice cream shop come to fruition with their branding, like, that's almost kind of the same, a different realm in a way, but still the same concept. Like, you actualize this idea they came to you for, and now it's in real life reality. Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah, it's so gratifying to see like somebody's business come together.
Yeah, it's motivating. Do you have any questions for me?
I don't know. What are you excited for next year?
I'm excited for more of this, actually doing it.
Yeah.
I started it last year. I was learning with the conversations with people. Now I know the kind of people I want to have up here, what my goals are for the show. It's just like focusing on people in the city of Denver who are actually doing things, not just want to be up here because they want to be up here. So, no, because I had mad people just like, hey, I want to be here. But it's like, what do you do? Oh, you know what? Nah, you're not doing shit. But you actually do shit, you know what I mean? So, all right, so how can people find you? Give them is your website up?
Yeah, my
website and your socials.
So my website is dianacarodesign.com, and my socials are, I think it's also Diana Caro Design for my Instagram, and I think that's all I have. Yeah.
Fire. I met Diana through social media, Instagram.
Through Instagram.
A supporter of Sekular, and then I saw what she was doing, and that's when I reached out to her because I thought that was dope. I never really met someone who does website design, and actually even just seeing what you did recently with the ice cream shop, I couldn't believe that. I was like, yo,
really?
You did that shit. That's fire. I never met someone who actualized like bringing marketing to an ice cream shop. So that was fire. Thank you for being motivating, inspiring.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Thank you. Yeah, you're always welcome up here. If you got a new project or something you're working on, you want the people to know, or you're following to know, and you want to get it recorded, let me know.
I'll let you know. I'm working on a project here, and hopefully I'm going to Turkey in a couple months.
Oh, so, fire! Yeah. How's it gonna mess with your training for weightlifting?
Oh, you're right. I haven't thought about.
She didn't think about that.
Far.
I think the project in Turkey is more important, y'all.
Yeah, no, I am working on a passion project, so maybe you'll see that coming soon.
All right, cool. And one last thing, why do you have a Subaru WRX?
What?
is that your car?
Yeah, it is.
It's just so That's funny seeing you in that car.
Why?
I feel like you about to race me and like shit on me. It's just like a really sporty car, which is fire to see you in it. It's just, I remember when I first saw your car, I was like, damn, that's your car?
Yeah.
I have like a whole SUV. I'm like a whole mom, my car. So to see your car, cool, I felt like less of a man.
No, yeah. Honestly, when I went in for my car, I wasn't gonna get my car, but because I used to go to car meets with my friends. Like I did really like going to car meets and see, because it's like a gallery. It's like you go and you see
art.
Yeah, you see what people are working on, what they're building, what they're really like, what they really care about.
That's facts.
And
that's a good point.
I remember that was the car that I was like, oh, that's a cool car, but like I'm not gonna buy that car. I didn't even know what I wanted, to be honest. And when I went in to test drive, I was going for a Jeep because I was like, I just want something that has space, and just something that's useful, you know? And when I test drove it, I was like, I hate this car. Like, I hate how boxy it is. The blind spots are huge. I just couldn't see myself driving it. And they had a WRX there, and I was like, I kind of want to test drive that. And then I did, and I loved it. I was like, there's no way I'm not getting this. This car is so fun.
Nah, that's a nice car.
Yeah.
Well, let's say shout out to your car. Shout out to you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being up here. These will come out in a month. Yours will probably be the 4th, so end of January.
End of January. Okay.
I'll let you know so you can start if you want to promote or whatever.
Yeah, I will. I'll share it.
Yeah. Other than that, thanks for coming up here. Have a good day. Thank y'all for watching if you watched. If not, fuck it, whatever. Have a good day, though.
Yeah, you too.
Bye,
Thank you.
y'all.
Bye.